Hello everybody and welcome to our channel. Today we will have another video, Road Science Theory Test. In today's video you have 30 road science test questions with multiple choice answers. Only one correct answer, and I will also give you the explanation to the correct answer. You need to score 25 questions out of 30 to pass the test. These questions are from the highway code. Good luck. 1. You're approaching a zebra crossing where pedestrians are waiting. Which arm signal might you give? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is A. Explanation. A slowing down signal will indicate your intentions to oncoming and following vehicles. Be aware that pedestrians might start to cross as soon as they see the signal. 2. Which of these signs shows that you are entering a one-way system? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is B. Explanation. If the road has two lanes, you can use either lane and overtake on either side. Use the lane that's more convenient for your destination, unless signs or road markings indicate otherwise. 3. Which of these signs means turn left ahead? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is B. Explanation. Blue circles tell you what you must do, and this sign gives a clear instruction to turn left ahead. You should be looking out for signs at all times and know what they mean. 4. Which of these signs means the end of a dual carriageway? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is D. Explanation. If you're overtaking, make sure you move back safely into the left-hand lane before you reach the end of the dual carriageway. 5. Where would you see a contraflow bus and cycle lane? A, on a dual carriageway. B, on a one-way street. C, on a roundabout. Or D, on an urban motorway. The correct answer is B, on a one-way street. Explanation. The traffic permitted to use a contraflow lane travels in the opposite direction to traffic in the other lanes on the road. 6. When may you cross a double solid white lane in the middle of the road? A, to pass a car signaling to turn left ahead. B, to pass a road maintenance vehicle traveling at 10 miles per hour or less. C, to pass a vehicle that's towing a trailer. Or D, to pass traffic that's queuing back at a junction. The correct answer is B, to pass a road maintenance vehicle traveling at 10 miles per hour or less. Explanation. You might cross the solid white line to pass a stationary vehicle, or to pass a pedal cycle, horse, or road maintenance vehicle if it's traveling at 10 miles per hour or less. You might also cross the solid white line to enter a side road or access a property. 7. When can you park on these markings outside the school? A. Not under any circumstances. B. When there is nowhere else available. C. When you are dropping off children. Or D. When you are picking up children. The correct answer is A. Not under any circumstances. Explanation. You shouldn't stop on yellow zigzag lines outside schools, not even to sit down or pick up children or other passengers. This is to make sure that passing drivers and pedestrians have an unobstructed view. 8. What's the meaning of this traffic sign? A. Bus lane ahead. B. End of two-way road. C. Give priority to vehicles coming towards you. Or D. You have priority over vehicles coming towards you. The correct answer is D. You have priority over vehicles coming towards you. Explanation. Don't force your way through. Show courtesy and consideration to other road users. Although you have priority, make sure oncoming traffic is going to give way before you continue. 9. What speed limit is often found in narrow residential streets? A. 20 miles per hour. B. 25 miles per hour. C. 35 miles per hour. Or D. 40 miles per hour. The correct answer is A. 20 miles per hour. Explanation. In some built-up areas, you might find the speed limit reduced to 20 miles per hour. Driving at a slower speed will help give you the time and space to see and deal safely with hazards such as pedestrians and other vulnerable road users. 10. What should you do when you see this sign at a crossroads? A. Carry on with great care. B. Find another route. C. Maintain the same speed. Or D. Telephone the police. The correct answer is A. Carry on with great care. Explanation. When traffic lights are out of order, treat the junction as an unmarked crossroads. Be very careful and be prepared to stop. No one has priority. 11. What shape is a stop sign at a junction? A. B. C. Or D? The correct answer is D. Explanation. To make it easy to recognize, the stop sign is the only sign of this shape. You must stop and take effective observation before proceeding. 12. What information would be shown in a triangular road sign? A. Ahead only. B. Keep left. C. Minimum speed. Or D. Road narrows. The correct answer is D. Road narrows. Explanation. Warning signs are there to make you aware of potential hazards on the road ahead. Take note of the signs so you are prepared and can take whatever action is necessary. 13. What does this sign mean? A. End of the urban clearway restrictions. B. No parking at all from Monday to Friday. C. No parking on the days and times shown. Or D. You can park on the days and times shown. The correct answer is C. No parking on the days and times shown. Explanation. Urban clearways are provided to keep traffic flowing at busy times. You might stop only briefly to set down or pick up passengers. Times of operation will vary from place to place, so always check the signs. 14. What does this sign mean? A. 11-ton weight limit. B. Right-hand lane T-junction only. C. Right-hand lane closed ahead. Or D. Through traffic to use left lane. The correct answer is C. Right-hand lane closed ahead. Explanation. You should change lanes as directed by the sign. Here, the right-hand lane is closed, but the left-hand and center lanes are available. Merging in turn is recommended when it's safe and traffic is going slowly. For example, at roadworks or a road traffic incident. When vehicles are traveling at speed, this isn't advisable and you should move into the appropriate lane in good time. 15. What does this sign mean? A. Bridge over the road. B. Road ahead ends. C. Uneven road surface. Or D. Water across the road. The correct answer is D. Water across the road. Explanation. This sign is found where a shallow stream crosses the road. Heavy rainfall could increase the flow of water. If the water looks too deep or the stream has spread over a large distance, stop and find another route. 16. What does this sign mean? A. Adverse camber. B. Steep hill downwards. C. Steep hill upwards. Or D. Uneven road. The correct answer is B. Steep hill downwards. Explanation. This sign gives you an early warning that the road ahead will slope downhill. Prepare to alter your speed and gear. Looking at the sign from left to right will show you whether the road slopes uphill or downhill. 17. What does this sign mean? A. Give way to farm vehicles. B. Give way to trams. C. Wait at the barriers. Or D. Wait at the crossroads. The correct answer is B. Give way to trams. Explanation. Obey the give way signs. Trams are unable to steer around you if you misjudge when it's safe to enter the junction. 18. What does this sign mean? A. Mini roundabout. B. No vehicles. C. Ring road. Or D. Roundabout. The correct answer is D. Roundabout. Explanation. As you approach a roundabout, look well ahead and check all signs. Decide which exit you wish to take and move into the correct position as you approach the roundabout, signaling as required. 19. What does this sign mean? A. Multi-exit roundabout. B. Place of historical interest. C. Risk of ice. Or D. 6 roads converge. The correct answer is C. Risk of ice. Explanation. It will take up to 10 times longer to stop when it's icy. Where there's a risk of icy conditions, you need to be aware of this and take extra care. If you think the road might be icy, don't brake or steer harshly, as your tires could lose their grip on the road. 20. What does this sign mean? A. Lay by 30 miles ahead. B. Maximum speed 30 miles per hour. C. Minimum speed 30 miles per hour. Or D. Service area 30 miles ahead. The correct answer is C. Minimum speed 30 miles per hour. Explanation. This sign is shown where slow-moving vehicles would impede the flow of traffic, for example in tunnels. However, if you need to slow down or even stop to avoid an incident or potential collision, you should do so. 21. What does this sign mean? A. Vehicles may not park on the verge of footway. B. Vehicles may park fully on the verge or footway. C. Vehicles may park on the left-hand side of the road only. Or D. Vehicles may park on the right-hand side of the road only. The correct answer is B. Vehicles may park fully on the verge or footway. Explanation. In order to keep roads free from parked cars, there are some areas where you are allowed to park on the verge. Only do this where you see the sign. Parking on verges or footways anywhere else could lead to a fine. 22. What does this sign mean? A. Bend to the right. B. No right turn. C. No traffic from the right. Or D. Road on the right closed. The correct answer is B. No right turn. Explanation. The no right turn sign might be used to warn road users that there is a no entry prohibition on a road to the right ahead. 23. What does this sign mean? A. No entry. B. No parking. C. No road markings. Or D. No through road. The correct answer is A. No entry. Explanation. No entry signs are used in places such as one-way streets to prevent vehicles driving against the traffic. To ignore one would be dangerous, both for yourself and for other road users, as well as being against the law. 24. What does this sign indicate? A. A cycle route. B. A diversion route. C. A pedestrian zone. Or D. A picnic area. The correct answer is B. A diversion route. Explanation. When a diversion route has been put in place, drivers are advised to follow a symbol, which might be a black triangle, square, circle, or diamond shape, on a yellow background. 25. What does this road marking mean? A. Don't cross the line. B. No overtaking allowed. C. No stopping allowed. Or D. You're approaching a hazard. The correct answer is D. You're approaching a hazard. Explanation. Road markings will warn you of a hazard ahead. A single broken line along the center of the road with long markings and short gaps is a hazard warning line. Don't cross it unless you can see that the road is clear well ahead. 26. What are triangular signs for? A. To give directions. B. To give information. C. To give orders. Or D. To give warnings. The correct answer is D. To give warnings. Explanation. This type of sign warns you of hazard ahead. Make sure you look at each sign that you pass on the road so that you don't miss any vital instructions or information. 27. Traffic signs giving orders are generally which shape? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is D. Explanation. Road signs in the shape of a circle give orders. Those with a red circle are mostly prohibitive. The stop sign is octagonal to give it greater prominence. Signs giving orders must always be obeyed. 28. These flashing red lights mean that you must stop. Where would you find them? A. Level crossings. B. Motorway exits. C. Pelican crossings. Or D. Zebra crossings. The correct answer is A. Level crossings. Explanation. These signals are found at level crossings, swing or lifting bridges, some airfields and emergency access sites. The flashing red lights mean stop, whether or not the way seems to be clear. 29. The driver of the car in front is giving this arm signal. What does it mean? A. The driver intends to turn left. B. The driver intends to turn right. C. The driver is slowing down. Or D. The driver wishes to overtake. The correct answer is A. The driver intends to turn left. Explanation. There might be an occasion where another driver uses an arm signal. This might be because the vehicle's indicators are obscured by other traffic. In order for such signals to be effective, all drivers should know their meaning. Be aware that the left turn signal might look similar to the slowing down signal. 30. At a junction, you see this sign partly covered by snow. What does it mean? A. Crossroads. B. Give way. C. Stop. Or D. Turn right. The correct answer is C. Stop. Explanation. The stop sign is the only road sign that's octagonal. This is so that it can be recognized and obeyed, even if it's obscured, for example, by snow.
And this round sign indicates prohibition. So this is something you must not do. The sign means no vehicles. This empty looking sign alerts drivers that access to an area is prohibited. According to the highway code, the no vehicles means any vehicles including cars, vans and motorbikes. They are banned from accessing the area indicated. However, pedestrians who are pushing a pedal cycle by hand, they are allowed to pass. Sign number 2. And this is it. This red triangular sign indicates a warning, an upcoming hazard. This sign means tank. This warning sign is usually displayed where the army practices the tank and armored vehicle training, and the sign is meant to inform motorists that slow-moving military vehicles are likely to be in or crossing the road. Depending on the size of the military vehicle, it could take up more than one lane on the motorway or on a major A road, and it's usually slow moving and very unlikely to be anywhere near the speed limit of 70 miles per hour. These road warning signs are quite uncommon in England, and there are none displayed on the trunk road network in Scotland. But it's very important to be alert to what these signs mean if you ever find yourself around a tank or armored vehicle training ground. And our next sign is sign number 3. This red triangular sign indicates a warning, an upcoming hazard. And the sign means wild horses or ponies likely to be in the road ahead. Please don't confuse this sign with the one which is advising drivers of accompanied horses or ponies likely to be crossing the road, as this particular sign indicates wild horses or ponies. Basically, this sign is warning motorists to pay attention and look out for any horses or ponies which may gallop across the road or just grazing at the side of the carriageway. With several signs in England, Scotland, and Wales, this sign is quite rare across the strategic road network, but it's significant for motorists to be aware if they ever come across one. Next sign, and this is it. This red triangular sign indicates a warning, an upcoming hazard. This sign means wild fowl likely to be in the road ahead. This sign warns drivers that there is likely to be wild fowl in the road, including birds such as ducks, swans, and geese, which live close to ponds or rivers. Ducks often they cross the road with their ducklings in tow, completely unaware of any oncoming traffic. So if you do see this sign, please remember to pay attention and slow down in case that the birds they decide to wander into the road. And sign number 5 is the following. This sign. This is another red triangular sign which indicates a warning, so an upcoming hazard of some kind. This sign means Ford ahead. Please don't confuse the sign with the UK car manufacturer Ford. This sign really means that there is shallow water in the road where vehicles can cross. So you need to make sure that you use caution when you see the warning. A ford is defined as a shallow place in a river or a stream, allowing someone to walk or to drive across. However, after heavy rainfall, you need to be careful because the water may have risen to a point which is dangerous for some vehicles to tackle. And our next sign is this. Another red triangular sign which indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. And this particular sign means railway level crossing without gate or barrier ahead. This is one of the rarest signs in the UK and is positioned before a level crossing where a railway line crosses a road and informs drivers that there is no gate or barrier present. When you approach this sign, you must stop and you must give way to any trains, just like you would at a standard road junction. These particular signs are mainly seen on quieter roads, and that's why only 3 can be found on the strategic road network in Wales, and there are none of these signs on the Scottish or English motorways or major A roads. Sign number 7 is this. And this red triangular sign again indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. And judging by what it says under the sign, you might understand what it means. It means migratory toads crossing. This road sign warns drivers to beware of toads crossing the road. So you need to proceed cautiously, or you may have to change routes. These signs are most common in early spring to help amphibians reach their spawning grounds. Sign number 8. This red triangular sign again indicates another warning or an upcoming hazard. Although it looks kind of antique, or old, this sign means horse-drawn vehicles. Even though, like I said, it seems like an old sign, not from this century, it's still used on roads around the UK. It means that horse-drawn vehicles will likely be using the road ahead, which may make it slow and difficult to move past, so please be extra cautious. Next sign is this. This green rectangular sign indicates directions on primary routes. So we are looking at the green sign here. This sign means start of a designated quiet lane. The purpose of quiet lanes is to maintain the character of minor rural roads by seeking to contain rising widespread traffic growth in rural areas. Requirements to be identified as a quiet lane and to get a sign include having less than 1,000 vehicles travel through a day and having a traffic speed of less than 35 miles per hour. These signs are usually on narrow single-track roads, so you won't be seeing them in busy cities. Sign number 10. And this is the one. This red triangular sign indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. The sign means quayside or riverbank. It's extremely important that you know the meaning of this sign, as it could prevent a catastrophe for drivers who don't know the sign. It's a warning to drivers that they are coming to the end of a road and they are approaching either a riverside or a quayside, and they may not be able to see the edge. And our next sign is this. Sign number 11. Kind of looks like an exploding car, right? This round sign actually indicates prohibition, something you must not do. The sign means no vehicles carrying explosives. And no, it's not actually an exploding car, okay? So please don't worry there. The sign means that no explosives are allowed in the area, so it only applies to a few motorists who are carrying dangerous loads. So please stay clear if you do have a car full of fireworks, for example. Sign number 12. It's very similar to our previous sign, but there is a bit of a difference there. So this is a red circular sign which indicates prohibition, something you must not do. And it means no horse-drawn vehicles. This sign is still in use today, so if you are planning on arriving to your wedding, for example, in a horse and carriage, watch out for this rare road sign. Next sign is this. It's very similar to our other sign with the riverbank, but this is slightly different. So this red triangular sign indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. The sign means water course alongside the road ahead. It literally means water course along road ahead. So if you see one of these signs, watch your speed and approach with caution. And if you have a look at the photo that you see on your screen right now, you can see that on the left hand side you have water there on the side of the road, so basically, you know, it's kind of obvious. Okay, moving on to our next sign. Sign number 14, which is this. And again, this red triangular sign indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. This sign means steep hill upwards. And the sign is used to alert drivers of hills on the road ahead. Steep hills upward show an incline to the right of the sign. The percentage shown refers to the tangent of the angle ahead and is sometimes expressed as a ratio on some of older signs. You may notice that the gradient of a hill becomes steeper as you drive, so always look out for new signs. It's important to stay in a low gear to prevent your engine struggling to deliver more power than necessary. So although this particular sign is showing you steep hill upwards, you also have steep hill downwards, which is going to be kind of like the opposite of the angle of this sign here. Sign number 15. And that's this sign, which is very bright, isn't it? This red triangular sign indicates, again, a warning or an upcoming hazard. And as you can see underneath this sign, you also have written hidden dip. This sign means other danger or a hidden dip. Many drivers believe that an exclamation mark in a red triangle is only used to warn of a hidden dip in the road. But the sign can also indicate any temporary or permanent hazards which aren't easily represented by using symbols. So please drive more cautiously and keep your eye out for a second sign for more details about the hazard. Next sign. I wonder what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this sign. But anyway, the sign is a red triangular sign, which again indicates another warning or an upcoming hazard. And this sign means electrified overhead cable ahead. It shows that there are potentially overhead electrical hazards above the road. You might see this sign near railway or tram cables, and they will usually be paired with a plate informing you of the maximum safe height for vehicles. You won't need to worry if you are, for example, in a car or on a motorbike, but tall vehicles such as lorries, they need to ensure that they can fit to avoid damage to their vehicle roof and the cables. And let's have a look at sign number 17. This is a blue circular sign and it indicates a mandatory instruction. And this particular sign means minimum speed limit. The sign is telling you that it's actually illegal to drive at under 30 miles per hour in this particular case. It's a minimum speed limit sign. These signs exist in places where there are specific reasons for which driving under a set speed might be dangerous or cause congestion. For example, in tunnels. So not all of the signs will show you 30 miles per hour, but this type of signs, it means that you must not drive under the minimum speed limit. It's actually illegal. Sign number 18. This is actually a sign that I found in my area and I took a photo of it because I found it quite interesting. I'm not sure if you've come across it yourself, but this circular or heart-shaped sign possibly indicates prohibition, something you must not do. And I say possibly because it's not 100% confirmed in all of the areas in the UK, but you will understand a bit better just as I explained to you the whole meaning of it. So this sign means a maximum speed limit of 20 miles per hour. And like I said, and according to my research, this is a fairly new sign which is not yet implemented in all the councils in the UK. And Wales was, in fact, one of the first countries in the world and the first nation in the United Kingdom to introduce legislation to have a default 20 miles per hour speed limit. And this kind of sign is usually found in quiet areas. Each council, each local council in England, they decide how to implement this speed limit and where. And and according to my research, residents of a certain area, they can also ask for this to be implemented. And yeah, like I said, is usually found in quiet areas, also areas around school, and where children might be crossing, playgrounds and stuff like that. And our next sign is number 19. This is another one which I found in my area, and it's not exactly a traffic sign, but I would like to think that it's considered a road sign. So this square-shaped sign indicates a vehicle restraint system and terminal. This sign means, along with the barrier behind the sign, a road safety barrier, commonly known as a crash barrier, a protective structure strategically placed along roads to prevent vehicles from leaving the roadway or from colliding with obstacles. In this case, you might see obstacles like the fence and the woodland area in this photo. These restraint systems, they play a vital role in reducing the severity of accidents and protecting drivers, passengers, and pedestrians. Sign number 20. And this is the sign. So this circular sign indicates prohibition, something that you must not do. It's very similar to the heart-shaped sign that I showed you, but this one is a circle sign. And this sign is a local speed limit of 20 miles per hour. Local councils, they can introduce their own speed limits, but this must be clearly signed. Look for any signs featuring a number within a red circle. In areas where vulnerable road users, such as children and cyclists, are frequently found, a 20 mile per hour limit is often enforced. This could be on small residential roads or near schools, and they are often enforced by traffic calming measures like speed bumps and chicanes to physically slow cars down. Sign number 21. This is it. This red rectangular sign indicates a warning, an upcoming hazard. This sign means that it's a temporary sign set to warn drivers of a permanent change in the road layout ahead. These signs are usually temporary and they have a date of completion on the back for when any kind of works will end. There might also be other temporary instruction signs. Sign number 22. I know that we don't have, the lockdowns anymore, but this is a sign which I found, and myself personally, I've never come across this kind of sign, but I'm sure that they were in many places in the UK during lockdown. So this rectangular red sign indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. And this is a sign for pedestrians which indicates that they should observe social distancing. These signs are usually temporary and they have a date of expiry on the back. So I doubt that you will find this kind of signs any longer. It was during the COVID lockdown. Sign number 23. And this is another sign which I came across whilst I was living in London. So this circular sign shows the entrance to a specific facility or public building, if you will. And this particular sign in the photo means that there is an underground train or a tube station or a train station, if you will. You will most likely hear about tube stations if you live in London. The road sign shows that the round sign shows that there is an underground railway station, and the public subway text underneath the sign means that there is also a pedestrian route under the road to get to the train station. Sign number 24. Yes, it's actually a sign. This red rectangular sign indicates a warning or an upcoming hazard. The cat's eye removed sign means that there are no small reflectors in the middle of the road. These reflectors are more commonly known as cat's eyes. So that's why it says on it cat's eyes removed. And our last sign for today is this particular sign. Have you ever come across this sign before? This blue rectangular sign indicates a positive instruction or information. This sign indicates that the road is splitting into an HOV lane, also known as high occupancy vehicle lane. This kind of works similar to a bus lane. So HOV lanes are for vehicles other than lorries which are carrying at least one passenger as well as the driver. That's why you have the 2+ symbol on the sign. According to the Department for Transport, the aim of these lanes is to reduce traffic congestion by encouraging car sharing. So they want to convince people to kind of, travel together so that it minimizes the numbers of cars on the roads, which in turn eases congestion and reduces pollution from vehicles. Similar to carpooling in the US, and I think we could say that Uber kind of also fits in with the definition. This particular sign, which is on your screens, is telling you that there are two lanes of traffic, both traveling up the road, but you are only allowed to drive in the left-hand lane at certain times if you have at least two people in the car. Between Monday and Friday, between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., and between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., in this particular sign, you have to have a passenger. There are cameras which enforce this rule, so if you do not have a passenger and you are on your own as the driver in the car, you will get a fine. So wherever you see this sign, it might not be the same timings and the same days, but obviously the sign will indicate the times of day and the days. And yeah, I saved the weirdest UK traffic sign to the last. And yeah, this is a lot to take in, the last traffic sign, and it's a lot to remember. But you can kind of get some pointers from the sign which will make it easier for you to remember, such as the number there, which indicates how many people can be in the car, and then also you have the timings on there.
Hey guys, and thank you for joining today's video. So today we have 94 direction and tourist traffic signs for UK. Are you guys ready to get started? Okay, let's go then. Number one, this is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And if you take notice, you can see that this symbol is brown in color. And this symbol means that the sign will take you to a safari park. Number two, this is another tourist symbol for England and Wales, and this symbol means that pleasure or a theme park. Number three, what does this sign mean? When you see the sign, wherever you see the sign, that means that this is a tourist information point or center. I think it's really easy to remember the I in the sign, in the symbol. So I would stand for information. And I think that you would most likely find these signs in popular areas for tourists, such as London, central London, and so on. The next sign, if you have a look at this sign, I mean, I think that it's quite easy to recognize. You can see that you have an elephant there, then you have the word zoo on it, and an arrow pointing to the right. So this sign means that the junction ahead is leading to a tourist attraction. So then in the case of this particular sign, the junction ahead would be leading you to a zoo. And let's move on to the next sign. So let's see if we know what this sign means. This is actually a historic castle sign. So if you have a look at the sign, you can see there that you have a symbol of a castle, the name of the castle, which is Archer Castle, and then underneath you can see how many miles ahead this castle will be at. So in this particular sign, it's at 10 miles. So that means that when you reach 10 miles, you reach the attraction. Let's move on to the next sign. This is very similar to the previous sign, but please pay attention at what it says on the sign. So again, you do have the castle symbol at the top, Archer Castle, which is the same castle which is in the previous sign. But then you have the word closed. So let's see what this sign means. It means that the tourist attraction ahead is closed. So now you don't have the mileage, you don't have the distance to get to the attraction. Now here it says that the tourist attraction, in this particular case, the Archer Castle, is closed. This is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. Again, please keep in mind the color brown. The color brown is always for tourist attractions. So let's have a look at what this sign means. It seems a bit complicated and a bit hard to remember, but this sign means that this is a cricket ground or there is a cricket ground. If you think that you remember better visually, try to pick something that you would remember. If you have a look at the icons on this sign, I mean, you can see a ball there and the lines and stuff like that. So if you can find something which you can remember, then it might be easier for you to memorize the sign and the meaning behind it. And our next sign is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And again, as with the tourist symbol or tourist attraction, we do have the brown color. And here on this particular sign, you can see a man on a bicycle. This particular sign means that it's a cycle hire. So you go here and you can hire a cycle such as a bicycle. For example, let's just say in London, you have the Barclays bikes, which you can rent for a couple of hours or however much you want to ride the bikes for. So usually in a place where the bikes are parked for you to be able to take them and hire them, you will see this sign. Moving on to the next sign, please pay particular attention to this sign because this is a tourist symbol, but only for England. So let's see what this sign means. This sign means that the particular tourist attraction is recognized by a regional tourist board or the English tourist board. So you will only find this sign in England because it's only for England. This sign is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. Again, don't forget to associate the brown color with tourists. So on this particular sign, if you think it's easier for you to remember, look at whatever is on the sign, at the drawing that's on the sign. In this particular case, we have a fish. So it's quite easy to remember. And if we move on to see what this sign means, it actually means fishing. So this is a spot for fishing. Sign number 11, this is another tourist symbol for England and Wales. And again, I think it's quite obvious what this sign might mean. But in case it's not obvious, you know, take this sign and associate it with something you can remember. For example, you can see here that you have a ball on this sign. So this sign means there is a football ground. Football, you've got on the sign the ball. So you can kind of, remember that when you see a ball, there is a football ground nearby. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? Again, maybe if you can associate this flag, which is on the sign, with the meaning of the sign, and the meaning of the sign is a golf course. So if you associate this flag with golf, then you can more easily remember that this is a golf course. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? Let's see. Motorsport. So again, you have another flag, but you have another type of flag, like the flags you see in racing, the checkered flag. So it's kind of easy to associate this kind of flag with something which has to do with motors, so motorsport, because the sign is on a brown background, which means it's like a tourist attraction or a tourist sign. So it would be, it kind of makes sense that this flag would be associated with some kind of, tourist attraction or sport, in this case, a motorsport. Looking at the next sign, what does this sign mean? And let's see. This sign means race course. Again, you can see the horse and the horse rider, and you can see that the horse is feeding. So this is the sign for a race course. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? I feel like this is kind of a very complicated sign. I mean, I'm not sure I will be able to recognize it. It's very particular. So let's just see what this sign means. This is a tourist attraction recognized by Visit Scotland. So this sign is not so common, right? That's why it's a bit harder to remember. But again, have a look at the sign properly and figure out what you can associate with it so you can remember what it means. The next sign is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And this sign means it's a ski slope. So you can see a person skiing on the slope. It's, it's quite obvious. And again, if you can associate that with the meaning of the sign, it's very much easier to remember. Then we have the next sign, which is, pay attention please, a tourist symbol, but only for England. And this sign means it's a sports center. If you have a look at the sign, it kind of feels like it's a person, and then it's on the brown background. So again, it's something to do with an attraction or something similar. So it's a sports center. I see, this is what I see, like a person on the sign. Maybe you see something else, I don't know. Moving on to the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? You have a train there. So let's see what the sign means. The sign means this is a steam railway sign. So you have the steam railway. You have the symbol on the sign, the train, steam railway, 300 yards. So the distance to the steam railway is 300 yards in this particular sign. Let's have a look at the next sign. What does this sign mean? So you need to pay attention at the following few questions, because the signs will look very similar, but they are different. So just pay attention, please. So you see the sign here. This particular sign means that there are 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. The next sign is very similar to the previous one, but if you can tell, it's kind of in the opposite direction. So let's have a look at this sign. This sign is 100 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. The next sign, this one has two lines on it. This sign means 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. So the first sign was one line, 100 yards. Now this is the sign with the two lines, 200 yards. The next sign, 200 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. And moving on to the next sign, this one has three lines. So this particular sign means 300 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a primary route. So one line, 100 yards, two lines, 200 yards, three lines, 300 yards. And now this is on the opposite direction. This sign means 300 yards to a roundabout or the next point at which traffic may leave a non-primary route. Moving on to the next question or the next symbol. This is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. Pay close attention to the sign. Again, it's on a brown background, and this sign means a beach. So you can see in the sign, it's kind of like a sandcastle. So maybe if you associate a sandcastle with this sign, then you can understand and you can remember that this is a beach. The next sign is again another tourist symbol for England and Wales, and we can see here a bird or a parrot. So this sign means this is a bird garden. Again, you can associate the bird on the sign with what the sign means. Moving on to the next question. This is another tourist symbol for England and Wales. Please remember the castle sign. We had the previous question. This sign means that this is a castle of historic or architectural interest. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? This sign means a country park. Now, what I see in this sign is kind of like a family of three. So it's kind of like, just a family going out in a park. So this is how I would remember this sign. So you need to find, something that you can associate with this sign so you can remember what it means. The following question, this is, please again pay attention, this is a tourist symbol only for England. And this symbol means property in the care of English heritage. If you have a look at the sign, it kind of looks similar to a hashtag. So me personally, I would associate this with a hashtag, and then I would remember when I see this sign that the property is in the care of English heritage. Next sign, this is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And hello, sheep. Let's see what this sign means. The sign means that this is a farm park. So this is not only a farm, but considering that this is on a brown background, it's a park, which means that you can go and visit this park. So it's a farm park, an animal park. So you go to this park and you have farm animals on there which you can visit. The next sign is this particular sign here. So you can see on the sign, you've got a museum written, the symbol of an M, and a person. So let's see what this sign means. This is the direction to tourist attraction indicated by a symbol. So if you can have a look at this sign, on this particular sign, this is showing you the direction to a museum. So if you go to the left, you will get to the museum. So obviously each sign will have different symbols. For example, this one is a museum, but there might be other buildings that you can visit. The next question, what does this sign mean? It's kind of like a house, isn't it? So let's see what it means. A house of historic or architectural importance. Again, please keep in mind the brown color. Brown is always tourist. The next sign, what is the meaning of this sign? Direction and distance to a tourist attraction. So on this particular sign, as you can see, the direction is telling you left to get to the model village in 1.5 miles. Let's have a look at the next sign. This is a tourist symbol for England only. Now, just a couple of times back, you've come across this symbol, remember? But if you don't remember, let's refresh our memory. This sign means museum or art gallery. So you can see on this sign M, which stands for museum. It's very easy to remember if you associate M with museum. The next sign, this is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And this sign means National Trust property. So if you have a look at the sign, you see leaves, you see a branch, you see what are those? I forgot the name for them. The ones that squirrels eat. Yeah, so you can kind of associate this with something to do with nature. So National Trust property. Let's have a look at the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Junction ahead, which is leading to a temporary diversion route. Follow symbolic route. On this particular sign, M1 north is closed. So the alternative route will be on the left and you will need to follow the signs for the diversion. Next question. What is the meaning of this sign? The roundabout ahead is leading to a temporary diversion route to the destination shown. So automatically you can associate the color yellow with diversion. So when you see the color yellow, you can kind of think, okay, this is an instruction for a diversion. So on this particular sign, the roundabout ahead will lead you to the diversion, to the destination shown, in this case, North Town. Let's have a look at the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? A junction ahead of a primary route with non-primary route through a town or village that has been bypassed. So the junction ahead of a primary route would be the Lambton route, and the non-primary route through a town would be Little Putting. Let's move on to the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? This means that the junction ahead is leading to a car ferry. So we get on a ferry, we are crossing the channel, and this sign will tell you exactly where to go to get to the car ferry. Next question. What does this sign mean? It's very similar to the previous sign, but please pay attention at the symbols on the sign. This sign means the direction to a vehicle ferry. So if you have a look at this sign, it will show the direction. So on the left, you will get to the vehicle ferry, to the vehicle ferry. Next sign. What does this sign mean? Direction to public toilets with facilities for disabled people. So you can have a look here, WVC for toilets, the direction is on the left, and this has facility for disabled people as well. As you can see, there is a symbol on this particular sign for disabled people. Now let's have a look at the following sign. What does this sign mean? Direction to Vehicle and Operator Services Agency Testing Station for Goods Vehicles. If you have a look at the sign, it kind of tells you everything that you need to know on the sign. So, Goods Vehicle Testing Station on the right. Next question. What does this sign mean? Junction ahead is leading to a London Underground Railway station. On this particular sign, you can see that it's telling you the name of the station, which is Oakwood Station. And then following that, you have the symbol for the railway station. Next question. What does this sign mean? Direction to a public telephone. So you can see on this particular sign, it's going to tell you a payphone. You have a phone symbol there, so you can associate the payphone with the phone and the direction, which would be on the right. Next question. What does this sign mean? The direction to a shopping area which provides a shop mobility service for disabled people. Having a look at the sign, you can kind of associate what it says on it with what it means, shop mobility. So this is a shop and you can be mobile to get to the shop. So the direction would be to the left, and you can see there that there are facilities for disabled people. The next question, what does this sign mean? Green, guys, remember green. So we have brown, we have green, we have yellow. This one is green. So this sign means direction ahead leading to a route for emergency vehicles to an emergency services incident point. So it says on the sign, emergency vehicles on the left. Number 47. What does this sign mean? This is like a bold, red, and it says on it emergency vehicles. Junction ahead, leading to a route for emergency vehicles to a temporary incident control point. So in this particular instance, you would be directed on the right. What does this sign mean? Additional traffic lane joining from the left ahead, non-primary routes. And I want to ask you a question here, and you can leave me the answer in the comments below. So who has priority here? Which lane has priority? Leave me your answer in the comments, and let's move on to the next question. What does this sign mean? Additional traffic lane joining from the left in 200 yards. Traffic on main carriageway had priority over joining traffic from the right-hand lane of the slip road, primary route. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to a new housing development. So you can see on this particular sign, you have the symbol of a house, then the name, Oak Farm Estate, and it's pointing you on the right. Next question. What is the meaning of this sign? Additional traffic joining from the left ahead, non-primary route. Black and white. Guys, black and white. What is the meaning of this sign? This is green, white and green, green and white. Additional traffic lanes joining from the right ahead. Traffic in the right-hand lane joins the main carriageway. Traffic on the main carriageway has priority over joining traffic primary route. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to a parking place available only on the day specified. So on this sign in particular, you can see the P, which stands for parking, Saturday only. The direction points you to the right, but you can only park here on Saturday. Obviously, different signs will tell you different days or times and so on. Moving on to the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to a parking place for shoppers and showing the total number of spaces. Again, if you also see different symbols on the signs, then maybe it's easier for you to remember. So you have here P, which stands for parking, 250. So there is space for 250 vehicles. And this parking is for shoppers only. So only for people who are parking there to go shopping. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? General directions to different types of parking place. If you have a look at the sign, P, parking, town center parking. So if you go to the left, there is a short stay parking. If you go to the right, there is a long stay parking. Next question. What is the meaning of this sign? Junction ahead leading to a destination advised for goods vehicles. On this particular sign, the destination would be the docks for goods vehicles. Moving on to the next question. What is the meaning of this sign? Junction ahead leading to route advised for goods vehicles. On this particular sign, the route would be Northway Industrial Estate. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to destination shown of route advised for goods vehicles. So if you want to remember goods vehicles, just remember a truck. because the symbol on the sign is a truck for all these goods vehicles. So the direction would be on the left, on the right, sorry. The next sign is this. And what is the meaning? Let's have a look. Distance and direction to a parking place ahead from which a park and ride scheme operates. So park and ride, you see they're parking. You see you have the P sign plus a bus. If you are not aware what park and ride is, it really means that you drive there, you leave your car in the parking place, P, and then you hop on the bus and you take the journey on the bus. That's park and ride. And let's have a look at the next sign. Just bear in mind they are similar, but they are not the same and they don't have the same meaning. What does this sign mean? Like I said, similar but not the same. This sign in particular means direction to a parking place from which a park and ride scheme operates. Like in the previous sign, it's another park and ride sign, but they're different symbols. So you have P for parking plus railway station or, a train. So basically you park your car in the P parking and then you hop on the train. Next symbol, again, it's very similar to the previous symbols, but please don't get them confused because they have different meanings. This sign is a direction to a parking place from which a park and ride scheme operates. So again, P for parking plus tram. So again, you park your car to hop on the tram. I think that this one is repeating itself for some reason. Oh no. See, I got confused on this one. So this is again very similar to the previous ones, but it has a different meaning. Let's have a look. Direction to a parking place from which a park and ride scheme operates. So now this sign is showing you the direction on the right. Moving on to the next question. What does this sign mean? Yellow, yellow. This sign means direction of temporary diversion route from junction ahead. You can have a look here, yellow color, and it says on the sign, diverted traffic. And obviously you need to follow the arrow. Next question. What does this sign mean? This is actually a diversion route symbol, in this case, a circular or a round symbol. I'm sure that if you have been driving on the road or if you've been a passenger and you've seen diversions, you normally see with the diversion these signs as well. Next question. What does this sign mean? Again, we have yellow. This is another diversion route symbol, but in this instance, the shape is square. So you can have the round shape, you can have the square shape as well. And let's move on to the next question. What does this sign mean? This is the direction of temporary diversion route. And this sign is showing you diverted traffic plus the direction on the right. Next question. What does this sign mean? This is another sign. This is another diversion route symbol, in this instance triangular. So we've had circle, circular, round, we've had square, and now we also have triangular. Next question. What does this sign mean? Start of temporary diversion route to the left. And the following sign is going to be very similar to this one, but obviously it's going to be different. What does this sign mean? The start of temporary diversion route to the right. What is the meaning of this sign? End of temporary diversion route. As you can see on the sign, it says here diversion ends. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction of temporary diversion route from junction ahead. Let's see the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction of temporary diversion route. Next sign. Oh, we have brown again. This is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And the meaning of this is 10-pin bowling. So again, associate what you know so you can more easily remember the sign. So here you can see the pins on the sign. Brown for tourists, so you can kind of tell that this is like a tourist attraction or a place to visit. So on this particular sign, you have the 10-pin bowling. Let's see the next sign. What does this sign mean? Direction along a route passing through places of interest recognized by a regional tourist board or the English Tourist Board. Next sign, and please pay particular attention to this sign because this is a tourist symbol, but for Wales only. This sign means tourist attraction recognized by the Welsh Tourist Board. Next question or next sign, if you will. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to services with details of the services provided. So if you have a look at this particular sign, you can see that the services provided are toilets, petrol, a shop like a coffee shop or a restaurant with disabled facilities, and it's also an information center. And moving on to the next sign, what is the meaning of this sign? Direction and distance to a tourist information point or center. So I remember it's for information, then it's written on the sign as well, tourist information on the right and the distance to get to it. And let's move on to the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Again, this is very similar to the previous sign we've seen of this nature, but it's a bit different. So the meaning of this sign is distance ahead to services with details of the services provided. So services, half a mile, you have toilets available, you have petrol station as well, you have a restaurant available, it's an information center as well, but please pay attention to this particular sign. It says not 24 hours, so this is not available 24 hours. It's possible that the restaurant is not open 24 hours or the petrol station is not open 24 hours or, nothing is open for 24 hours, like in other places where there are services. Next question. What is the meaning of this sign? I. Location of a tourist information point or center. Next sign. What does this sign mean? Entrance or junction ahead to services. So services we've just covered. Next sign. What does this sign mean? Entrance or direction to services. In this instance, on the left. Services, you might get a toilet, facilities, you might get petrol stations, a restaurant, a hotel, tourist attraction, or information center and stuff like that. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? Camping and caravan site 300 yards ahead. You can see there on the sign the little tiny cute caravan symbol and the distance 300 yards. Next sign. What does this sign mean? I know it's very similar to the previous sign we've just seen, but it's slightly different. Camping and caravan site 300 yards in the direction indicated. So here is giving you the direction as well. So you've got the camping and caravan site 300 yards on the right. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? Now remember that this is on a brown background, so it's got to do with tourists, right? Let's see what it means. Distance ahead to parking place with a tourist information point, picnic site, public telephone, public toilets, and viewpoint. If you have a look at the symbols on this sign, you can see P for parking, WC for toilet, I for tourist information point, picnic side because you've got someone there sitting on a bench with a tree and stuff like that. Then you've got the phone symbol as well, and the viewpoint, which can be, I don't know what it can be, maybe a lake, maybe a building, maybe, I don't know, you're just looking at the sky and you see a constellation or stuff like that. But basically means like a viewpoint, and then it's giving you the distance, which is 1 mile. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? We've had a similar sign previously. So let's see if you guys remember. Directions to different types of parking place from a junction ahead. So you've got long stay parking P, long stay, and short stay parking P. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? We've just had a different sign with this just a couple of questions ago. So let's see. This sign means picnic area 150 yards ahead. So you've got a place with tables and benches and green and grass and whatever where you can sit down and have something to eat. And then it's giving you the distance as well, which is 150 yards. But please pay attention to this particular sign because although it's a picnic area, it's not going to have toilet facilities unless there is a symbol saying there are toilet facilities. Moving on to the next sign. What does this sign mean? Direction and distance to picnic area. Again, you have the symbol of the person staying on the bench and eating at the table. 150 yards. That's the distance, and then on the right is the direction. Let's go ahead with the next sign. What does this sign mean? Managed youth hostel 1 mile ahead. So basically, a hostel is very similar to a hotel, and this one is for youth, for young people, and it's 1 mile ahead, and it's managed. So this is what this sign means, and let's have a look at the next sign, which will be similar to this one, but obviously with a different meaning. So what does this sign mean? Youth hostel, 200 yards in the direction indicated. So the youth hostel will be 200 yards on the right. Let's have a look at the next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Distance to a commercial vehicles parking place ahead with public toilets and telephones. So here you have only commercial vehicles. So this is a parking space only for commercial vehicles, like it shows on the sign the symbol of a truck, for example. So there is a parking available for trucks. There's also toilet facilities, a phone, and it's 1 mile. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? Direction to a lorry park via a U-turn at a roundabout ahead. So this sign is also, quite straightforward. You have P, which is a symbol for parking, and then lorry or a truck, and when you do a U-turn at the roundabout ahead. So basically arrow down. Next sign. What is the meaning of this sign? A direction and distance to a multi-story parking place. So if you have a look at the sign, you have P for parking, multi-story, 250 yards after you turn right. Next question and sign. What? So this is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. You have here a little duck. And the sign means this is a nature reserve. So for you to make it easier to remember, associate the brown color with the duck, and then you can easily recognize that this is nature reserve. And our next question is our last question for today's video. And this is a tourist symbol for England and Wales. And this means a site with Roman remains. I'm not sure if I've ever come across in England a site with Roman remains. That's very interesting. But if you have a look at the sign, I find that it's quite easy to remember. I mean, it's on a brown background, which, the color associated with tourists visiting places and stuff like that. And then you also have the helmet of a warrior. So this is how I would remember it. This is a site with Roman remains. The helmet from a warrior, and then the brown color, which is a tourist destination or tourist, stuff like that.
And the different shapes and different colors of these road and traffic signs, they have different meanings. With hundreds of different road signs, each of them has their own meaning, but most of them fall into one of three categories based on their shape. And the rule is: circular signs give orders and they must be followed to stay within the law. Now also please do remember the color, the color blue or red and white. The triangular signs they warn, and they are of course designed to warn you about the road layout or any hazards that lie ahead, such as sharp bends. They almost always have a red border. Rectangular road signs inform. Blue rectangular signs give information on motorways, green signs direct you on primary roads, while white signs give directions on minor roads. Rectangular signs can also indicate bus lanes and congestion charge zone. Let's have a look at sign number 1. This sign is an explanatory plate for tram car and bus and cycle only route signs. As you can see, the sign is rectangular in shape. It has a white background with a gray or a black foreground, and this is a bus, cycle and trams sign. Sign number 2 means route comprising a separated track and path for cycles and pedestrians. And the sign is circular or round in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if you have a look at the sign, you can see here there's clearly a line separating pedestrians from cycles. Sign number 3 means route for use by pedal cycles and pedestrians only. And again, this sign is a circular sign on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's used for bus and cycles. For buses and cycles. Let's have a look at sign number 4. This sign means parking place for pedal cycles. The sign is rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if you pay attention, it will probably help you to understand and remember better that it also has a P, which is P for parking. So parking sign, which indicates parking for cycle, because you have in the other rectangle, because you have in the other rectangle the symbol for a bicycle. Sign number 5 means no stopping except buses during time period. The sign is rectangular in shape on a yellow background and gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. So you can, if you have a look at the sign, you can see here the no stopping icon on top, and then you also have written in words no stopping, and then you also have the time period between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. so there is no stopping between those times apart from the buses. However, different signs will have different time periods, so you need to make sure that you pay attention to the timings on these signs. Sign number 6 is a contraflow cycle lane, and it's rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if you have a look at this sign, you can see the lane with the 2 arrows going upwards, which is separated by a bicycle symbol with an arrow pointing downwards, which means that the bicycles will go opposite the flow. Sign number 7. This sign means a cycle lane on road at junction ahead, or cycle track crossing road. And it's rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and this is a bus and cycle sign. You can see on this sign that you've got the bicycle over there on the top, and then you will point the arrow towards the cycle lane. So in this case, on this particular sign, you will point ahead. Sign number 8. This is the cycle lane with traffic approaching from both ways. A pedestrian reminder. The sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And clearly, as you can see on this sign, it says there, look both ways. The next sign is a cycle lane with traffic proceeding from the left. Pedestrian reminder. Again, this sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background, white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And as you can see here at the bottom underneath the bicycle, it says look left. Sign number 10 means cycle lane with traffic proceeding from the right. Pedestrian reminder. This again is a rectangular sign on a blue background with a white foreground. It's a bus and cycle sign, and it's almost the same as the previous sign that we've just seen. However, on this particular sign, it says here look right. Sign number 11. This sign means route recommended for pedal cycles on the main carriageway of a road. The sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Number 12. This sign means end of cycle lane, track or route. Again, this sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And you can see also says on the sign end of route. Sign number 13 means with flow cycle lane. The sign is rectangular in shape. It has a blue background and a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 14 means with flow cycle lane ahead. This again is a rectangular sign in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 15. The meaning of this sign is testing of child cyclists ahead. The sign is rectangular on a white background with a gray or a black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And as you can tell from the sign means that children cyclists are being tested ahead. Sign number 16 means training of child cyclists ahead. This sign is also rectangular on a white background with a gray or a black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 17 means cycle event ahead. The sign is rectangular in shape, white in color, with a gray or a black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. So this sign will tell you that somewhere ahead there is some kind of an event involving cycles. Sign number 18 means cycle route ahead warning. So please remember, the red color is something that you must not do. This sign is triangular in shape, it's on a white background with a red foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 19 means cycles crossing ahead. This sign is again rectangular with a white background, gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and a cycle sign. And as you can see from this sign, it says on it cycles crossing. Sign number 20 means cyclists to dismount at the end if or at the break in a cycle lane, track or route. This sign is also rectangular on a blue background, and it has a white foreground, and it's used for buses and cycles. Sign number 21 means riding of pedal cycles prohibited. And this sign is circular in shape on a white background with a red foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And please remember again, red is something you must not do. So according to this sign, that means that you cannot ride pedal cycles. Sign number 22. This sign means no through road for vehicular traffic. The sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground. It's a bus and cycle sign. And if we have a closer look at this sign, you can see at the top there that you've got the red line, which indicates red, you must not do, prohibition. So this means that there is no through road. So it's end of the road. Sign number 23 is a parking place for pedal cycles. It's rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And again, let's remember P, which stands for parking. You can see it here, P on a blue background, which means parking for pedal cycles. Sign number 24 means route for use by pedal cycles only. This is round in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 25 means that this route is for use by buses and cycles only. The sign is circular or round in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if we have a look at this sign, you can see in the circular shape you have the bicycle on top, you have the bus on the bottom, and then underneath you will have the word only written, which means that this route is only used by bicycles and buses. Sign number 26 means route for use by buses and tram cars only. This sign is also circular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and trams sign. Again, we can see here which vehicles are allowed. So this route is clearly for trams. The tram symbol is on top, and then underneath that you have the bus symbol as well. Sign number 27, again, let's remember the red color. This sign means that buses are prohibited. The sign is round in shape on a white background with a red foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. So clearly from this sign we can tell that buses are not allowed. Sign number 28 means that this route is for use by buses, pedal cycles and taxis only. And it's round in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if you have a look at this sign, it's self-explanatory as well. You can see the cycle symbol at the top, and then you see the bus symbol, and at the bottom the taxi word. So basically this route is to be used only by bicycles, buses and taxis. Sign number 29 means with flow bus lane which pedal cycles and taxis may also use ahead. This sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 30. This sign means appropriate traffic lanes for different maneuvers at a junction after a break in a bus lane. The sign is rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And if you have a look at this sign, you can see the red color there, which again we know what it means. So prohibition or something that you must not do. In the case of this sign, at the top here where the red line is, you have a bus lane, so other traffic is not allowed. If you need to use the junction, you can only turn left. The next sign means contraflow bus lane which pedal cycles may also use with traffic approaching from the right. Reminder for pedestrians. The sign is rectangular in shape on a blue background and a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. So both buses and cycles can use this, but you as a pedestrian would need to look right. Number 32 means a bus lane with traffic proceeding from both ways. Reminder for pedestrians. Again, this sign is also rectangular, the same color blue and the white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And as you can see here on the sign is very similar to the previous one. However, here is written look both ways. Look both ways. Sign number 33. The meaning of this sign is a bus lane on road at junction ahead. The sign is rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 34 means contraflow bus lane. And this sign is also rectangular in blue with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. If you have a look here at this sign, you can see the two arrows which are pointing upwards, and then you see the division line, the white one, and on the other side you can see the bus there with the arrow downwards in the opposite direction, which basically means that it's a contraflow bus lane. So the bus goes against the traffic. Sign number 35 means end of bus lane. This sign is also rectangular on a blue background, a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 36 means that this is a parking place for buses. The sign is rectangular on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. So again, in this sign we have the big bold P, which stands for parking, and then we have the other sign which indicates what type of vehicle can park here. In this particular instance is a bus. So this is a parking place for buses. Sign number 37. Ooh, brown color. Do you remember, guys, what brown color means? Tourist attractions. So this particular sign here means that this is a stopping place for buses used for carrying tourists to allow passengers to take photographs. This sign is rectangular in shape, is on a brown background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. You can see on this sign the bus, then it's a photo stop only, and is giving you the timing, so between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on this particular sign. This would be the time where buses are allowed to stop for tourists to take photos. Different signs will have different timings. Sign number 38. This sign means this is a place where buses may stand and the stopping of other vehicles is prohibited during the period indicated. This sign is rectangular in shape on a yellow background. It has a gray or a black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. On this particular sign you can see written a bus stand. There is no stopping between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. apart from buses. So again, if you look at this particular sign, there is no stopping between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. except for buses. Different signs will have different timings, however the meaning will still be the same. Sign number 39. This sign will tell you that this is a stopping place for buses. This sign is also rectangular in shape on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 40. This sign means entrance to bus station, depot or garage. And this is also rectangular in shape on a blue background with a white foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. Sign number 41. This sign means exemptions for buses, taxis and pedal cycles from restriction or prohibition conveyed by associated sign. The sign is rectangular on a white color with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And it says on the sign as well, except buses and cycles, which of course means that buses and cycles and taxis can use this, but there is restriction for other traffic. Sign number 42. This sign means buses excluded from restriction or prohibition conveyed by associated sign. The sign is also rectangular on a white background with a gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. It's very similar to the previous one. However, on this particular sign, the buses are exempt from restriction, so they can actually use this, whereas the other vehicles, they are prohibited. Sign number 43 means cycles excluded from restriction or prohibition conveyed by associated sign. This sign is also rectangular in shape. It has a white background, gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign. And it's exactly the same like the bus sign, however this one is except cycles, so traffic with vehicles is prohibited with the exemption of cycles. Sign number 44. This sign means local bus is excluded from restriction or prohibition conveyed by associated sign. This sign is rectangular in shape, it's on a white background with gray or black foreground, and it's a bus and cycle sign.
Today we will have the weirdest traffic signs from around the world. 1. Beware of invisible cows. Most of the Mauna Kea access road below Hale Pohaku is open cattle range, and the cows frequently cross the road. Dark-colored cows are often invisible in darkness and/or fog. Use extreme caution and drive very slowly in this open range. Meaning, beware of invisible cows. More than 20 years ago, the Mauna Kea access road in Hawaii was open and cattle would roam across the road. After a lot of incidents, security measures were increased, including adding signs, and cows are now safely secured in fields. 2. Meaning, steep cliff road sign. This road sign is found in Argentina and is used to remind drivers to be cautious about their speeds on an upcoming hill. 3. Meaning stop sign. Usually stop signs have an octagonal shape, but there are some countries in the world where the sign is a circle and there is an upside down triangle inside of it. This sign with the hand in it is a stop sign used in Pakistan. 4. Meaning cattle crossing sign. New Mexico is known for famous UFO encounters in the movies. In the 70s, New Mexico started actually having UFO sightings, which led to cattle mutilations being associated with UFOs. But this yellow sign from New Mexico is, in fact, a warning sign that cattle are crossing the road. 5. Meaning llama crossing road sign. When you are driving in Bolivia and other countries in South America, you should be on the lookout for llamas crossing the road. Traffic sign. This is a yellow warning sign. 6. Meaning pedestrian crossing sign. Usually when you think of pedestrian crossing signs, you picture an illustration of a person walking on a zebra crossing. But pedestrian crossing signs can vary depending on the country. In Japan, this blue triangle-shaped sign is a pedestrian crossing sign. Here, the sign is not red in color and the pedestrian is wearing a hat. The blue color is used for motorist service guide and parking spaces for handicapped drivers. 7. Meaning penguins crossing sign. Penguins are important to the wilderness in New Zealand and they can often cause accidents in Oamaru if drivers don't slow down. Blue penguins are quite small and they can be hard to see, especially at night time. So this traffic sign is warning drivers that there might be penguins crossing the road. 8. Meaning blind hill road sign. The exclamation point is supposed to draw your attention to the upcoming blind hill, but you can't see if anyone is coming toward you from the other side. This is a warning road sign used in Iceland. 9. Meaning immigrants crossing sign. This immigrants crossing sign can only be found in the US. The sign is used to warn the drivers to be more careful as there are immigrants crossing the road. 10. Meaning warning sign. This is a road sign found in Alaska. It is designed to warn drivers of a dangerous dirt road. An Alaskan hotel designed this unique road sign, which can help to ensure that drivers are really paying attention on the way up to the hotel. The dirt road where this sign can be found is called Grand Drive, and it leads up to the Grand Denali Lodge in Denali, Alaska, according to CNN. The hotel is close to Denali National Park, which includes Mount McKinley. 11. Meaning hedgehog road sign. This sign can be found in the United Kingdom, and it warns motorists that spiky hedgehogs are nearby. Drivers are advised to drive slowly and carefully as to not endanger these small animals. 12. Meaning Pegasus crossing sign. This Pegasus crossing sign is used in the United Kingdom and Peru. This sign is for horse riders, indicating a crossing is approaching, which can be used by horse riders. 13. Meaning elephants not permitted sign. This traffic sign is found in China. This is a prohibition. Vehicles which are too heavy, too long and too high are not allowed, or simply put, no heavily loaded vehicles permitted. 14. Meaning sled crossing road sign. In a country with only a few roads and plenty of ice, dog sleds are one of the best ways to get around. This sign in Greenland warns drivers that there could be sleds ahead. 15. Meaning trucks with faulty brakes road sign. This Californian highway sign means that trucks without the ability to stop, those with faulty brakes, are instructed which direction to use to slow down and not endanger themselves and the other road users. This road sign is found in Northern California. 16. Meaning oryx crossing road sign. The oryx, a type of African antelope, is known to approach cars in search for food, for example. They shouldn't attack your car, but be cautious when you see these road signs found in several southern African countries, as the signs warn motorists that oryx could be crossing the road. 17. Meaning prohibited conveyance road sign. This road sign can be found in Israel, and it lets drivers know which types of transportation are prohibited in this area. 18. Meaning dead end sign. This is a road sign from Germany. The red line at the top of the white line represents a dead-end street. 19. Meaning no overtaking sign. This sign, found in Russia, informs drivers that the road is a two-way road, and the different colors mean no overtaking or passing. 20. Meaning kangaroo crossing road sign. Australia is full of wildlife, so please be cautious when you are driving on highways. This Australian sign tells you that kangaroos might be crossing the road. 21. Meaning battlefield sign. This is a road sign found in the United Kingdom. The sign means there is a famous battlefield site up ahead. Like in the United States, brown road signs in the UK indicate tourist attractions and historical sites. 22. Meaning coastal path sign. This road sign is found in Ireland, and the sign indicates the Wild Atlantic Way, a 1,550-mile walking path along the island's scenic west coast. 23. Meaning camel crossing road sign. This sign can be seen in Israel, warning drivers that camels could be crossing the road. 24. Meaning beware of road surprises road sign. This sign that can be seen in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. This sign warns drivers of falling rocks from the hilly terrain, which can dent cars and chip windscreens. 25. Meaning deaf cat road sign. This road sign is found in South Holland. The sign is dedicated to a local deaf cat, with the sign warning motorists that this is a dedicated crossing for the cat. To be prepared, as the cat might run out into the road or not hear them approach. Motorists should drive slowly and carefully. 26. Meaning warning road sign. This is a road sign found in India, designed to keep drivers' speed limits under control, especially when driving on the hilly terrain of the countryside. 27. Meaning warning traffic sign. This traffic message is found in Canada. The Canadian forests are very flammable, and wildfires are a real and ongoing problem for the country, with thousands of wild animals losing their habitats and lives each year. So, this is a demand or a warning to motorists, designed in a fun way to draw more attention to the warning. 28. Meaning warning road sign. This unique road sign can be found at the Kyle of Tongue Bridge, located in the coastal Scottish village of Tongue, Scotland. The sign is warning drivers that they are driving close to the sea. 29. Meaning, warning road sign. This is a traffic sign which can be found in the United States. The sign warns drivers that this is a narrow roadway. 30. Meaning, sign not in use. Even if the sign is not in use, as it says on it, this sign is placed to create a reflection of the headlights of vehicles, enhancing road visibility. This is especially helpful when there are no street lights along the road, ensuring better visibility of the road ahead. The sign can be found in the United Kingdom. Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe and like. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.